Imagine this. You move out to the Arizona desert, dreaming of peace, blue sky, your own little slice of the American dream, and instead, you wake up one morning to find your private pool deck has been rebranded the neighborhood splash zone by your HOA president, like she's queen of the cul-de-sac. Sounds like a joke, right? Nope, that's just how it all kicked off for me. Name's Jack Harland. Used to be an investigative journalist, but after too many smear campaigns and enough burned bridges to last a lifetime, I decided I'd trade all that noise for some solitude. You know, just a plain life for a so-called troublemaker. Funny thing about trying to escape a reputation, trouble seems to have a way of finding you, especially in neighborhoods like Cactus Ridge Estates, where the gossip runs thicker than the sunscreen. Folks around here love to whisper, claim I'm probably hiding something shady. Meanwhile, the real crooks? They're the ones wielding the rule book, flashing plastic smiles that say, "Welcome to passive-aggressive hell." I bought the place sight unseen, suckered in by ads promising serene Southwest living, my own little oasis, a fence to keep out wandering javelinas and, if I'm honest, nosy people. If only I'd read the HOA fine print, which was buried deeper than a scorpion at noon. Marlene Vickers, president of the HOA and unofficial sheriff of Cactus Ridge. Now there's a piece of work. Imagine a woman who quotes bylaws like scripture, all prim and proper on the outside, but underneath? Control freak, ready to fine you for a single dandelion, while her own backyard could pass for a wildlife preserve. I met her the first week, clipboard in hand, eyes narrowing at my new solar lights like I'd just declared war on the grid. "Mr. Harland, those aren't approved wattage. We maintain standards here, for everyone's benefit." I figured it was just some welcome to the neighborhood ribbing. Big mistake, my friend. I tried to stay under the radar, but you know how small towns are, skip a few block parties, and suddenly you're the antisocial guy. Fine, let them talk. I wanted quiet, not a popularity contest. But Marlene? She didn't want quiet, she wanted control. She escalated faster than a monsoon in July. One afternoon, I'm stretched out by my pool, enjoying the silence, when I hear the unmistakable click of high heels on my pavers. "Jack, we've had complaints. Your fence is blocking shared access to the greenbelt behind your lot. Per HOA covenants, that's community property." I sat up, water dripping, thinking, is this a joke? I told her, this is my deed. Surveyed, recorded. The greenbelt ends at my property line. She gives me this patient, condescending smile, fiddling with her pearls. "Oh honey, traditions matter here. We've always allowed picnics and walks back there. It's for the greater good, keeps our values up." Greater good? Lady, this is my backyard, not a public park. I bit my tongue, but inside my reporter's gears started turning. This wasn't about access. It was about power. That week, I became the villain of the neighborhood Facebook group, selfish newcomer, land hoarder. I shrugged it off and, just in case, installed a couple discreet cameras. Best decision I made all year. A week later, there's a note, taped right to my door, not mailed, not slipped politely under the mat, but slapped on like a threat. "Notice, your enclosure violates community standards. Access reclaimed immediately." Signed, of course, by Marlene herself. I could practically see her scribbling it, high on righteous indignation. That's when I called Lena, old friend, real estate lawyer, sharp as cactus spine. She didn't even hesitate. "Jack, this screams overreach. If they try anything, that's trespass." So we documented everything, photos, timestamps, even screenshots of the neighbors trashing it online. Sure enough, 2 days later, my app pinged. Marlene and her 2 Polo Patrol sidekicks are on my property, bolt cutters in hand, looking like they're about to stage a coup. I storm outside, voice shaking. "What in the actual hell are you doing?" Marlene never even blinked. "We're enforcing harmony, Jack. Your gate is divisive." Divisive? It was chain link, for crying out loud. "Get off my land, or I'm calling the cops." She puffs up. "We're the authority here." 5 minutes later, the sheriff rolls up, badge gleaming in the sun. I hand over my deed. He turns to Marlene. "Ma'am, community spirit ain't a court order. Step off." Her face goes redder than a prickly pear, muttering about outsiders. They left, tails between their legs. I filed a restraining order and sued for a declaratory judgment. Now it was on. The week before the hearing, I didn't rush. I went into full investigation. Lena's advice, dig deeper. Look for history, witnesses, patterns. So I started knocking doors at dusk, notebook hidden under my arm, playing door-to-door salesman with the truth. Most shrugged, but Hank and Maria, older couple from down the block, invited me in for iced tea. They pulled the same crap on us 5 years back, Hank grumbled, showing the old letters. Claimed our patio was shared seating. We threatened to sue, they backed off. No paper trail. I asked if they'd testify. Maria grinned. Hell yes. We're tired of their nonsense. Next stop, County Records Office. I spent hours flipping through plats, maps, legal filings. No shared access, not a trace. But then, buried in the HOA's dusty founding docs, I found it. A crayon map, supposedly proposing community paths through private yards, mine highlighted bright as day. Fraudulent as a $3 bill. I sent the evidence to Lena. They're playing make-believe Monopoly, she laughed. Afternoon mail brings a fine, $400 for obstructing unity. I walked it straight to the sheriff. Extortion, he said, whistling. The binder of evidence was growing thicker by the day. I started to feel the tide turning. Day before court, Lena calls. Prosecutors are sniffing around. Says this could turn criminal if it keeps up. I nearly knocked over my coffee grinning. Finally, someone was listening. Court day hits like a monsoon. Packed gallery, neighbors whispering, Marlene strutting in with a lawyer who already looked beat down. Judge Reyes presiding, no-nonsense type, gavel ready to drop. Marlene's attorney stands, starts in with, Your Honor, traditions bind our community. This access fosters cohesion. Judge cuts her off. Got county records for this tradition? Marlene stammers, Well, we've always assumed. Assumptions ain't law, Ms. Vickers, the judge says deadpan. Then Lena hits her with the deed, the survey, the fake map. I play the video of Marlene reclaiming my yard, audio crisp as autumn air. Hank and Maria testify, laying out the pattern. Judge calls a recess, then comes back with the verdict. Mr. Harlan's land is his. The HOA overstepped. Judge orders an investigation. Marlene's out on her ear. The room bursts into applause. Lena claps my back. You just HOA-proofed the neighborhood. But I knew Marlene's quiet exit wasn't surrender. It was a regroup. Didn't take long for the next twist. Phone rings, Rita, the HOA's ex-bookkeeper, nervous as a jackrabbit. Jack, I quit. You need to see something. She shows up with a battered laptop, folders everywhere. They're diverting dues to a special fund. Fake invoices, ghost repairs. I scroll through the files, $550, 000 siphoned to Desert Mirage Services. Vendor doesn't exist. Embezzlement, I mutter. Lena calls the state AG. Next day, investigators raid the HOA clubhouse. Boxes go out, Marlene's name splashed across headlines. HOA president under fraud investigation. But the puzzle pieces kept coming. Turns out Marlene's husband Earl had petitioned to rezone lots for community benefit. He was denied, but they pushed through anyway. Dig a little deeper. Earl started the fake vendor, dissolved it, but kept billing, funneled the money to their accounts. State police catch him shredding records at a storage unit. Marlene surrenders, mugshot viral by sunset. Emergency meeting that week. Packed house, air heavy with betrayal and the smell of burnt coffee. Interim board appointed, Rita as treasurer, me as oversight. Transparency first, I announce. Refunds flow back, fines vanish. Class action lawsuits fly. DOJ letters start arriving. My case sparks a national probe, but the depths are shocking. State real estate calls me to a musty shed on the edge of town. Agent Voss lays out the last of the evidence. Fake liens filed on 9 homes, pressure sales to shell companies, then flipped to Earl for a song. Racketeering, Lena says, shaking her head. Affidavits pour in. A retired teacher coerced to sell. A nurse fined for installing a wheelchair ramp. DA files 35 counts. Marlene and Earl denied bail. Flight risks, with fake passports ready. Cactus Ridge changed after that. Neighborhood meetings turned into therapy sessions. Fences became conversation spots. Potlucks healed old wounds. State freezes HOA assets, auctions Marlene's toys. Her boat and cabin go to a restitution fund. Judge's ruling is bold. My little oasis is legally untouchable now, and I framed the order right on my wall. The DOJ expands the probe nationwide, and my evidence is a key part. One night, Hank shows up with a 6-pack, toasting on my porch. They're doing time for sure. Rico's no joke. The clink of bottles, the desert air finally feeling light again. No tyrants lurking, just real neighbors looking out for each other. So let me ask you, who's the real villain here? The power-hungry HOA boss, or the system that lets these mini-dictators run wild until someone fights back? Was justice served or just delayed? Drop your thoughts below, because sometimes standing up for your slice of peace is the only way to save the whole damn pie.